Svartifoss!
Let's go.
Hey there! Welcome to day 8 of Iceland Vlog series. Last night, we stayed in a hotel, the first and only time on this entire trip. We had 2 rooms, one for the girls and one for the boys, each with 3 comfy beds, and it was the best kind of reset after such a packed day. Even breakfast was a treat. For the first time in over a week, we didn't have to prepare anything. It was a proper buffet breakfast, and that alone felt like a vacation. The morning was gloomy, with light rain and heavy clouds hanging low. And truthfully, the mood kind of matched the weather. We were all a little quiet, a little low energy, still feeling the weight of yesterday's adventures. But in Iceland, the adventure don't stop, rain or shine. So we pressed on. And today's mission? Chasing more waterfalls. Because really, you can't see too many waterfalls in Iceland.
He is coming from the volcanic eruption.
Our hike led us to something quite special, the Svartifoss. It is also known as the Basalt Falls. This waterfall is framed by dark, dramatic hexagonal basalt columns formed by ancient lava flows that cooled and cracked into geometric perfection. It honestly looks like nature's version of a cathedral. Along the way to Svartifoss, we also passed other smaller but beautiful falls, each one adding its own little moment of magic to the trail. I'm not gonna lie though, the gloomy weather and that persistent light rain made the hike a bit tough. We were drenched, sore, and definitely not at our peak energy, but we pushed through, step by step, because Iceland always makes it worth it. After soaking in the raw beauty of Svartifoss, we started making our way back down the trail. Slowly, but happily. Despite the weather and the chill in our clothes, reaching that waterfall made it all worth it.
For the gram! Risking lives! Worth it naman.
We returned to the van, removed our raincoats and wet pants, and officially began our journey for the day. Unlike the previous days of long cross-country drives, today was more relaxed. We took it slow with shorter drives as we continued our route through the breathtaking landscapes of South Iceland. The dramatic cliffs, endless mossy fields, and the misty mountains made even the shortest stretches on the road feel cinematic.
Hindi na bumabagsak yung tuhod. Alam mo, hindi na bumabagsak. Yung mist na lang yung ano.
Our next stop brought us to a place that looked like it was pulled out straight out of a fantasy movie. So this canyon, it's pronounced roughly as Fya-throur-glue-fur. I know, Icelandic names are a tongue twister. So this stunning 2-kilometer long and 100-meter deep canyon is located just near a town east of Vik. And it's becoming pretty famous, especially after Justin Bieber featured it in his I'll Show You music video. Yep, he was literally walking along these cliffs in that dramatic slow-mo. Once you're here, it's quite easy to see why. The view is just breathtaking. Steep mossy cliffs, a winding river below, and endless green stretching in all directions. It's the kind of place that makes you stop, take a deep breath, and feel small in the best possible way. The rain had finally stopped when we arrived, but the wind was still intense, enough to give us chills down to the bone. Still, we took our time and soaked it all in. We wandered along the paths, took plenty of photos. Yes, more for Zach's album too. And even managed to fly the drone, though it was definitely a challenge with that wind. But the aerial view, it was so worth it.
Yeah. Recipients! Hello to your recipients.
After that windswept canyon adventure, we made another quick drive and stopped by an N1 gas station. It has become our go-to for snacks and refueling, both for the car and ourselves. And since we stayed at the hotel the night before, we didn't have the chance to prep our packed lunch. So we grabbed some burgers from the fast food counter to keep us going. And off to the next stop. It is something a bit quirky and unexpected. It is a visit to a Viking film set where the famous Yoda Cave is located. So this spot is tucked away on Iceland's south coast, and honestly, it feels like it's sitting in the middle of nowhere. The moment we stepped out of the van, it felt like we were dropped into some eerie, far-off planet. Sky was gray, the clouds hung so low, you couldn't see far beyond the black sand, and everything felt isolated, quiet, and kind of magical. No wonder it's used as a film location. It's the perfect mix of dramatic and surreal.
The rock that I climbed.
The Yoda Cave itself is hidden in this massive rock formation that looks like a cliff rising out of the black sands. When you look closely, the opening of the cave really does look like Master Yoda. And I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It was still raining, so Jerry wisely rain-checked this part and stayed in the van. Honestly, it was a smart move. But me, I was way too game to pass this up. I even climbed a boulder just to get that photo. Probably not the most brilliant decision. Anything for the memories and content, right? Our final destination for the day is the charming little town of Vik. It is surrounded by black sand beaches, wild coastlines, and dramatic sea cliffs that look like they were carved by giants. We were also ready to settle in, warm up, and let this southern gem surprise us. As we pulled into town, it hit us.
Oh, diba?
We actually made it around most of the ring road. What started way back in the west has now brought us to the south, traveling in a full clockwise loop around the entire country. I mean, how insane is that? Felt so unreal.
Mga intro sa horror movies.
But before crashing at our accommodation, we had an essential stop to make, a Krone and grocery run. Now you'd think we'd be quick and efficient, but no. We spent a very reasonable amount of time deciding what to eat. Sure, we've had our fair share of quick fix meals and microwave solutions. Okay, maybe a little bit too many, but we are trying to balance it out. I swear. Also, let me just say, Skyr? Skyr has been our go-to breakfast and snack. It is thick, creamy, protein-packed Icelandic yogurt, and you really can't find it the same way anywhere else. It is quite addictive.
Borgari. These are the Borgaris. And lamba.
Look, 4 and both.
After grocery shopping, we made one last little detour. We couldn't resist dropping by the Reynisfjara beach and the Vik church. Reynisfjara is one of Iceland's most iconic spots. It is the famous black sand beach. The scenery here is unreal. There's dramatic basalt columns, powerful waves crashing against the shore. And let me tell you, the waves here are no joke. They're known as the sneaker waves. It's a massive, unpredictable waves that can suddenly rush much farther up the beach than you'd expect. It's been responsible for serious accidents, even fatalities. So stand back, admire the view, and don't turn your back to the ocean. So the church is perched on a hill with what's supposed to be a gorgeous view of the coast. But of course, Iceland being Iceland, it was raining again with clouds so low we could barely see past the parking lot. Still, the church looked majestic against the moody sky. Tonight, we're staying in another hostel, but this one's a little different. It's a shared room with bunk beds, and we even had one fellow traveler bunking with us.
And 4.
Honestly, it was a new experience for all of us, but it turned out to be totally fine. The hostel was spotlessly clean, like seriously clean, from the rooms to the kitchen to the bathrooms. And everyone we met was friendly and respectful. It felt safe, cozy, and very Iceland.
Somebody here. Yes. We're so kawawa. We're so kawawa. Jane, can I see this?
Coming up on day 9, we're chasing waterfalls all along Iceland's dramatic south coast. And let me tell you, we got a taste of Iceland's truest weather. Think of non-stop wind, sideways rain, and soaked socks. But also some of the most breathtaking sights we've seen on this trip. It's wet, wild, and 100% Iceland. Stay tuned!